Hello there, darlings. Welcome to the Clockwork Cabaret. This episode had a lot of promise and then it started. Perhaps you should skip this week and go start that project you've been putting off for a month. You know the one I mean. And now, on with the show.
And with the sound of the cuckoo, you know that it is time for the Clockwork Cabaret. Hooray! I am Emmett Davenport.
And I am Lady Attercop.
And if you are in the United States, you have just had Turkey Day.
Hopefully safely.
Yes, hopefully safely. Hopefully there was no heavy trauma or family drama or any of that. We are recording this from the past, so it hasn't happened yet.
Turkey Day yet.
We haven't had Turkey Day. It's coming up. We're preparing for it. The future of turkey is bright.
Well,
or, it's there.
I mean,
it's ahead of us.
I currently have a 10-pound carcass defrosting in my fridge, so take that as you will.
I have a 13-pound one because I was expecting to be able to have you and Ducky over.
Wow! Hey!
So I have to figure out what to do with all of it.
Didn't happen. I bought a 10-pound one because they were on sale.
Ah!
It was like 29 cents a pound or something ridiculous. And so but it was only 10-pound and over, so I could either spend more money to get a smaller turkey, or I could get a 10-pound turkey for $3.80.
Ah.
Guess what Mama did?
Yeah. Well, of course.
You got a turkey for $3.80.
Unlike me, who, I think it was 5 months ago, drunkenly...
Yeah, super fancy turkey!
I drunkenly signed up for a fancy heritage ridiculous turkey because I was drunk. Did I mention I was drunk?
You've been watching Bob's Burgers.
I was watching Bob's Burgers. I was watching Bob's Burgers. And it was an episode about Thanksgiving with his heritage farm turkey. And
you went, that sounds delicious.
And I thought, I too would like a heritage turkey. I don't know what that is, but I would like to get one of those. And the produce app that I use happened to be offering one, so I asked Rupert, can we get one? And he was also drunk, and he said, yes, let's do that.
He had also been watching Bob's Burgers. And that sounds like an excellent idea. Yes. We definitely need to brine it and spatchcock it.
Yes, and name it Popcorn. So its name is Popcorn, and we will
You named the turkey Popcorn?
Yes. Normally...
We named ours Dave Matthews. I don't know why.
Well, so traditionally, I always name my turkeys before I prepare them for Thanksgiving. Partially, it's been a long-standing tradition that I've had since I started making turkey dinner for Thanksgiving. 20 some odd years ago. I started naming them because it irritated my mother.
I mean, fair enough. Good enough reason right there.
Well, I would talk to it while I was... because I was like... Because one of the things about it is, you're all up in its business.
You gotta... that turkey's business.
Yeah, you gotta massage it, and you gotta... you're doing all this stuff to it, and it feels very intimate, and so I felt like it should have a name, and so I named it, and my mom found it very, very weird, and so I just kept doing it. So every year I named the turkey.
Did you make the turkey talk back to you?
Sometimes. Not usually, but only if my mom was standing right there.
You're gonna be the best turkey this year, Popcorn. I know, baby.
I know it's true. It's true, Emmett. I'm gonna taste so good with this brine.
Oh, you're brining it. You're getting real fancy.
I'm not brining it. I don't do that. I just usually do a nice deep rub on it. I'd massage it a little.
And this has been Steampunk After Dark.
But the only reason,
but
the reason I named it was just mostly to irritate my mother. And it has been a tradition that I have upheld. And so with this particular turkey, we're just gonna.
I have. This is gonna be my first like full Thanksgiving turkey.
Yeah.
I've cooked like turkey breast before. I've bought like frozen turkey breast, thawed that, cooked that, roasted that. But this is gonna be my full like first like full on turkey.
Okay. Well, let me. I know you're not an idiot, but I'm going to.
Do
but
you
I'm,
know that?
Well, I assume you're not an idiot, but I will let you know I'm going to tell you a little secret that is something that a lot of first-time turkey roaster people don't know. And and that's where they make their mistakes, is the fact that the giblets and all the little package of all of the innards and things is in the front by the neck.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes some people don't realize that, and the first time,
take it out.
and they don't take it out, and then,
it is not my first full animal. I've done chickens and rabbits, and I've cooked a carcass or two before.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fair. Okay. I just happen to know
the giblets are up there because that is part of, in my family, what we use to make the gravy.
Yeah. No, that's a very common thing. It's just that I happen to know a few people that mistakenly did not realize they were there, made the whole turkey, stuck it in the oven with that still in there, and then wondered why.
Bag full of organs.
Yes, and then wondered why there was a weird smell and weird. Yeah, it just goes weird. You don't want that.
No, Mr. Ducky his family is from a different part of America than my family. A different American experience, if you will. And so in his family, the organs are consumed.
Yeah.
The giblets, which is not weird. Like, this is not a judgment call, but he did slightly horrify my family the first time he came for Thanksgiving and asked if he could have the heart.
Oh yeah.
And they all went, "What?" And she was like, "Oh, is anybody going to eat the heart?" Like, no, I'll have that if you're not going to have that.
Yeah.
We were all momentarily horrified because none of us had eaten the heart before. That's where the courage lives. And I don't need a turkey's courage.
That's where the strength of your enemy turkey lives.
That's right. I have more courage than a turkey. I do not need to consume its heart. I will also consume its weakness then. But in a nice twist to this charming story of organ consumption. Every year after that, when we went to my grandmother's house for Thanksgiving, she would save Ducky the heart.
Oh, nice.
I think partially just to see if he ate it. I think there was a little bit of a freak show aspect to it. Like,
probably.
I'll put that heart on your plate. Are you going to eat that heart? He did. And now this year, I'm cooking the heart for him.
Oh. See, I would usually do...
I'm sorry, vegetarians. This is a nightmare conversation for you. Someone out there has a pet turkey and is just crying.
Oh, no! I'm sorry.
Eat Randolph's heart. I will not name the turkey Randolph. He is Dave Matthews, and you all know if you had the opportunity to eat Dave Matthews' heart,
you might.
You would think about it.
There would be a moment.
There would be a moment. Can I have the power of Dave Matthews? Do I get the power of the entire band or just the man?
Just the man.
Where does the man end and the band begin?
With the other men in the band.
With the lungs. The lungs aren't included in the giblet.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Also, we're Scottish. You can't horrify us with eating organs.
Yeah, no, it's true. Ugh,
Do you even know what haggis is? You don't want to know if you don't.
I'd eat it.
I've eaten it. I've eaten the American version of it because you can't get the actual Scottish version
Yeah.
of it in America because it's illegal to sell lungs
Oh, yeah.
in America. But I have eaten the American version. It's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I've
It's
had
very
it.
meaty.
Mm. Scottish food is
It
weird.
tastes like ground up organs.
I feel like Scottish food was made on a dare.
A lot of it is. A lot of it is like, what if we threw this? What if we threw this on a deep fryer? What would that be like? Let's do it. What if we took this egg, rolled it in sausage, rolled it in something else, threw it in a
Well,
deep fryer?
Well, Scotch
Eh?
egg. Well, the Scotch egg isn't actually Scottish, I believe.
No, it isn't. But they do love to deep fry everything under creation in Scotland.
Oh, I don't. I don't want anything deep fried.
Oh well.
That's where the Scottish ends in me. I am not a deep fry.
You can take a land, but you can never take a deep fryer.
That's where
Look,
where the
put
Scottish
that
in me.
vegetable in hot oil until there's no nutritional value left whatsoever.
Yeah, no, that's the
And it's
French in
tasty.
the French in me is
The French is horrified. The French is going, no, don't deep fry it. What you need to do is put it in an oven and cover it with cream and cheese until there is no nutritional value whatsoever.
that's exactly what I want to do.
Oui. Also, please give me a cigarette and a little bit of coffee de metas. Merci. Did I ever tell you about the French guy? The French guy.
Can you be more specific?
He was a guy. He was French.
Was his name
was
Guy?
Paul.
Oh, I was gonna say his name was Guy.
No, his name was Paul. And this is back when this is not related to Thanksgiving at all, but it does relate to the French. And he came into the office where I worked when I worked in insurance because he was thinking about buying an insurance policy. He came into the office for 2 days. 2 days in a row he came in, and he never bought a damn thing. And I did not care because he was the absolute greatest. First of all, I did not realize he was French. I thought he was Haitian when I first spoke to him. So then when an old white dude showed up, I was very confused. But then he just literally wanted to sit down at my desk and tell me stories. And I could not have been more thrilled to let him. Because he was 70 years old and very, very French. So he was the best. And he was telling me about every time I see someone who is being pulled over by the police, my heart weeps for them. This is an exact quote. My heart weeps for them because American police, they are thugs. They are gangsters with a badge. In my country, we would not stand for this. We would riot in the streets. We would set things on fire. I was like, oh, please do tell me more.
It's true. They do. The French do love to set things on fire.
They do love to set things on fire. He was not exaggerating. But the whole, my heart weeps for them. And on day one when he left, he said, I will be back tomorrow with my wife. She needs to make this decision with me. She doesn't speak much English, but she will be here. The next day, the wife comes. Wife is a very nice French lady, doesn't speak any English or doesn't speak a lot of English, and he was translating back and forth, and she was being just a total snark to him, and you could tell. And he's like, do you see how she treats me? Do you see? Such insolence. And I'm like, well, maybe if you weren't such a big pain in the butt, she wouldn't have to treat you that way. And he's like, oh, there are two of you now. It's like, he spent the entire time telling me stories and flirting with me. It was the greatest. When he left, on day 2 of taking up many hours of my time, and let me remind you, never buying a thing, he took my hand, kissed my knuckles, and said, the future belongs to people of your caliber, and left on that line. It was, I will go to my grave thinking about Paul.
It sounds delightful.
He was delightful. Also, American cups it, my heart weeps for them. They are folks with badges. It's like, Paul, it's 2000, my friend. You have no idea how much worse it's gonna get.
If he's still alive, he is 90 years old and still thinking the same thing.
Paul is still out there. He's still kissing young insurance agents. Well, not young, he wasn't that young, but he's still kissing the knuckles of younger women, telling them that the future belongs to people of the Caribbean. And he had impressive eyebrows. He had a nice set of Roman eyebrows on him.
Nice. And that was Paul. Now I feel like you should name your turkey. Paul.
No, my turkey is Dave Matthews.
All right. And with that,
I already decided.
All right. With that, I'm gonna press a button.
Uncle Howard will be drinking, Auntie Maud will be shrieking, and 2 score of ill-bred children will be squirming underfoot. Yes, soon the holidays will arrive, and with them will come your relations, somehow detached from the manners that you were naturally graced with by God. So why not act early and order rush delivery, the Yuletide edition of Lady Haversham's behavior-correcting phrenology hammer? Why, the very sight of you with a glass of gin in one hand and 10 pounds of polite reminder of civil discourse in the other will stifle all but the most obstinate of cousins. Lady Haversham's behavior-correcting phrenology hammer, also for use with chestnuts.
So I want to talk about sweet potatoes.
All right. French sweet potatoes?
Just any sweet potatoes, like because it's Thanksgiving. It's coming up.
Well,
I have opinions about sweet potatoes.
Oh.
Well, I really, really hate that sweet potato casserole. I hate that the marshmallow thing. What is that?
Oh, the sweet, like the candied sweet potatoes.
Candied sweet potatoes.
Candied yams.
Yes, I hate that. It's gross. I don't like it. I like savory sweet potatoes.
I mean,
I have opinions.
I will eat them both. Honestly, I will eat them both. I want to on principle hate the candied sweet potatoes, but it's just really good.
It's just too sweet for me.
It's just a little dessert side.
I want.
Oh, but it's so good though.
Oh, no. Maybe it's because I don't
like. Also, what you're ignoring is the epic amounts of butter.
Yeah, but there's marshmallows, and I hate those.
It's sweet and salty and savory and sweet potato all at the same time.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I mean, and I do not prepare my sweet. I don't make candied sweet potatoes. I make, like regular sweet potatoes. I make butter, more savory. Every once in a while, if I'm feeling a little frisky, I'll sprinkle some brown sugar on there. Just, every once in a while. Because sweet potatoes are very sweet on their own. But yeah, no, I totally will eat candied yams or whatever the heck they're called.
I don't know what they're called. An abomination.
So for some of our listeners, they might not know what we're talking about.
Yes. You're
lucky. Some of our American listeners might not know what we're talking about.
You're very lucky, listeners. If you don't know what I'm going on about, be glad. Be glad.
It is a primarily Southern dish. I did not experience it until later in life. That you basically make mashed sweet potatoes or yams or whatever you call them in your area, and you just mix them up with a bunch of butter, brown sugar, and then sprinkle like marshmallows on top and bake it like a casserole.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
So you get like that kind of like caramelized, some more marshmallow on top, and then like a buttery, semi-sweet mashed sweet potato bottom, and it's a very southeastern American dish. And it's delicious.
It's gross.
It's delicious.
I don't like
Don't
it.
look at her. She speaks lies.
I will say though, I do like that terrible green bean casserole thing that you make.
I also very much enjoy the terrible green bean casserole. I just like garbage food. I am a raccoon. I am half raccoon. I am half possum. This is another thing. I didn't grow up eating candied yams or sweet potato casserole or whatever you want to call it. I also did not grow up eating the terrible garbage green bean casserole. We always ate steamed
Yeah, no, that's what I eat.
green
Yeah.
beans with Thanksgiving in my house. But this is the one that's made with just like cream of mushroom soup and butter and cheese and French fried onions, which are like if you crossed onions and potato chips
Yeah, and you put those on
turn them
top.
into something greasy and delicious. And yeah, and canned green beans. It's not good, but it is wonderful.
Yeah, no, and you made it, I think, a couple Thanksgivings ago, and now we have made it. I think you have made it every Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving.
since because.
Oh, it's so bad.
And it's just
so
you
bad.
and you and me are the only two that eat it because Rupert doesn't like it and Ducky can't eat it. So
It is not dairy safe.
No.
It is not vegan friendly. It is like cream of mushroom soup and cheese and
Yeah.
heavy whipping cream.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
If you could just like shake a cow over this casserole,
Yeah.
you probably would.
No, I will eat all of that. Don't get me wrong. I did
It's
not
very
grow up
good.
with it
It's
either,
terrible,
so
but it's
I don't
so
know.
very good.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't even know why. That was actually, I think, when you made it was the first time I'd ever actually had it.
Yeah, and I was craving it. I was like, I want this terrible
Yeah.
terrible casserole dish.
Yeah. I don't.
I love a good terrible casserole. If it's got like a ridiculous amount of cheese and just ingredients that don't belong in there in a Pyrex dish and baked at a high temperature in an oven, I'm probably gonna enjoy it. Honestly. Sweet potato casserole? I'm on board. Bring it, put it in my mouth. Green bean casserole? Yes, please. Cream of mushroom soup? Why is that in there? I don't know. Come on, bring it over. We gotta put cream and cheese? Yes, I agree with that. Come on. I've got hash browns, cheese, scrambled eggs, 15 layers of, I don't know, tuna and noodles. Would you like to eat that? And I would be like, yes, that sounds delicious. Please. I love a good tuna casserole. I just like garbage food. I've come to realize this about myself.
It's
If it's
fine.
got some cheese and some frozen peas and it's been put in a casserole dish, I would like to eat it.
That's fair. All right.
Yeah. I'm a garbage dump of a human being. I'm just leaning into it in my old age.
You're in your old age. You're not.
The future belongs to people of my caliber. Paul did not know what providence he spoke.
He did not realize that it was going to be garbage food.
It was just going to be a garbage future. He didn't realize that. I didn't realize it at the time either. If I had known, I would have stopped him. I would have slapped in my one hand over my other hand and be like, "Don't, Paul, no.
You've cursed me."
You cannot speak the prophecy into being. I am a garbage human, and if you tell me the future will be garbage, it will come to pass. And that's why we have 2020, and it's my personal fault. At least if you listen to my anxiety, which I do, at 3 a.m. Usually, give or take.
Oh, good. That puts me off the hook. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Awesome.
So everyone else who's laying awake at 3 a.m., wide awake, thinking that everything is their personal fault, you can rest easy this week of Thanksgiving, because it isn't your fault. It's fine.
Excellent.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool.
That's my gift to you.
It
This holiday season.
is a Thanksgiving. It's a Thanksgiving miracle.
Thanksgiving miracle. I'm the garbage human that caused 2020 to be a dumpster fire.
Ah.
I knew my anxiety was right all along.
Well, good. Now maybe I can get some sleep.
Oh, you won't. Because that's not how anxiety
I know
works.
that's not how anxiety works.
Nice.
It'll just be 4 o'clock in the morning and then I wake up and
4 o'clock in the morning, you're like, you know what?
By the way,
you can be blamed for Lady Attercop's mistakes.
She can only take the credit for some of it, let me point out.
You have technically been alive longer than I have, so at
Yes.
least some of it has to go to you. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly.
4 years of it is all you. You were there for...
You were a
It's true.
terrible 4-year-old.
Was.
You've
It's
no
true.
idea.
It's true. I've heard tales.
You blocked it out.
I did. I did actually when I was 4 was when I wandered away and tried to find a new family by myself because my mom let go of my hand.
Well, it's a heartwarming Thanksgiving tale. It's like the reverse of Home Alone. Instead of the family leaving the child's like, well,
It was in a mall.
these assholes, I'm out.
It was in a mall.
That would have been a different story if Kevin McAllister had hopped on the plane by himself.
Yeah. No, at the age of 4 was when I just wandered out of the store that my mom was in, that we were in, and I wandered through the mall to a restaurant and sat in a booth with a lady.
Just
And
a random lady?
Yeah, and asked if I could have one of her French fries. To which she gave me one of her French fries and then proceeded to look around the restaurant trying to figure out whose child this belonged to. Little did she realize.
You're like, hey lady, you seem cool. You gonna eat all those fries?
Those fries look good. I'm not allowed to eat those things. Can I have one?
Those look deep fried and delicious.
I have a
Like
French
those
fry?
look Scottish to me.
I would
Why
like
don't
a
you
French
throw
fry.
a couple of those my way?
Yes. Meanwhile, my mother and a security guard was wandering around the mall trying to find poor little Emmett.
Mr. Ducky was like that. He was the kid that if you didn't like put a leash on him or have a hold of the back of his shirt, he would just run off.
Yeah. Well, and the moral of the story is the fact that that's when little Emmett got put on a leash.
Mr. Ducky got put on a leash too.
I
Oh,
was
you were
put on
those
a
leash
leash,
children.
and my mom felt absolutely terrible about it, but it was because I would make friends with strangers constantly. Hi! Also, I'd tell strangers my name.
Where you lived, your
Yes.
special
Hi,
interest
I'm
that it would
Emmett.
take to get you into a van.
I am 4. I live at such and such street. I like pie. Do you have any
puppy, I
pie?
would get in your van today.
You've got candy in your van? Sweet.
Have you almost been kidnapped? Like, this is a serious question. Did you almost get kidnapped at least once in your young life?
Probably.
No, but do you remember almost getting kidnapped?
I don't know. I had my name. I had a shirt that had my name on it, and I distinctly remember being because that's a thing that people did in the 70s. Which don't do that to your children, people. Don't do that. That's a really good way to get your child kidnapped because I do remember some stranger dude, asking me, basically being like, Emmett, like. Here, I'm a friend of your mom's.
Did you believe him?
No. I mean, he actually ended up being an actual friend of my mom's, but I did not.
Oh, so that was not an almost kidnapping story.
No, but it was, I don't know him. I've never seen him before. How do I know you?
And so for our younger listeners who feel like your parents might be a little overbearing, here, this is our gift to you this holiday season.
In the 70s.
This is why they're a little overbearing. I have at least one almost getting kidnapped story.
I mean, I'm sure I probably have, but I just don't remember.
No, I
probably
distinctly
blocked
remember
them
a
out.
greasy man trying to get me and my brother into his car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one of those kind of kidnapping stories. So me and my brother were I was probably 3rd grade-ish, maybe 4th, probably somewhere around 3rd or 4th grade. So that would make my brother 3rd or 2nd grade. And the city had just come through the neighborhood where we were renting a house and cut a bunch of the trees down that were cut a bunch of branches that were interfering with phone lines and power lines and stuff like that. So there were these big piles of wood in front of all the houses, which to 2nd and 3rd graders is like, oh, I've got to get my hands in that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've got to go out into the front of the yard and play with these big piles of wood. It was the 80s. There wasn't a lot of electronic options. So when you saw a giant pile of wood and sticks, you were like,
Gonna climb that.
I'm gonna get all up in that.
Go make a house.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but my child brain is
I'm gonna
telling me
climb
you
on-
need to go put your hands in it.
I'm gonna climb on top of it and be king of that mountain
Pile
of
of
wood.
Pile of sticks. And it's Florida, so there might be a snake in it. Who knows?
There might be a person in it. You don't
There
know.
might be a person in it. So me and my brother were out front playing by ourselves in this random pile of wood that was in our front yard. And a dude pulled like classic stranger danger John Mulaney, like throw your child wallet at the guy, creep in a wood paneled station wagon.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, he was going for full creep points. He had like long stringy hair
Oh,
and a
the
mustache, and he
stereotypical.
pulled up in front of the car, the in front of me and my brother, and leaned out of the window and was like, "Does John McMahon live here?" Now, at the time, listeners, John McMahon was a quarterback for a football team. I don't know which team because I didn't pay that much attention to football. But I do know he was a quarterback. Even my dumb child brain understood this because my parents were sports fans. And I just remember thinking, John McMahon is famous, and we rent this house. So no. And so me and my brother just look at him, we're like, no. Does he live anywhere around here? I think we would know if a famous quarterback lived in our neighborhood. So no. Well, he gave me, and he starts into this spiel, whatever his spiel was, about how he gave him this address and he's lost and he's looking around. Because when you're lost, the two people that you really want to help direct you to where you're trying to go is two random elementary age children playing in a pile of wood. Like,
That seems like a.
yeah, that seems legit, especially if you're a greasy guy in a station wagon. It was at this point that my dad, who happened to be home from work that day, looked out front and saw a random greasy man in a station wagon talking to a little too intently to his children. So he rushes outside. Dude in station wagon gets scared, drives off at a high speed.
Oh.
Dad, not to be dissuaded from avenging said potential pervert, calls to my mom to take the kids inside, hops into his car and follows him. Because my family are full of well-intentioned dummies. And that was 100% what I would do.
That seems
This
like
is
a
before
really
the age of
bad idea.
internet. This
Seems
is before
like a
the age
bad
of cell
idea.
phones. My dad is just another dude following the first dude
Yes.
around. And apparently he stopped at several and asked several other like child-age children,
Oh.
like stopped and talked to several other kids, like while my dad was following him, until he realized my dad was following him and then sped off. My dad tried to follow,
Yeah.
a chase happened. My dad lost him, but did get the license plate number. And they called police. And then I had to talk to police that day about the random dude that wanted to know if John McMahon lived in my neighborhood. And that's about the first time I almost got kidnapped. Nicole, were there other times? Yes, there were other times. It was South Florida.
I was gonna say, you lived in Florida.
I lived in South Florida in the 80s and 90s. It was an interesting time. It was a time where the police kept finding bodies of random women in suitcases along interstates and repeatedly told the press, it is not a serial killer. These are unrelated cases of women being chopped up and put into suitcases.
It's just a coincidence.
You know, like happens all the time.
It's just random.
You
It's a
know,
random happenstance.
unrelated dismembered women in suitcases. It's not a serial killer.
They make the suitcases like that.
I mean, honestly,
They just-
when you look at a suitcase, who doesn't want to chop up a woman and put it in there?
You just, that's how you buy them. They just come with a
advertise them
dismembered
as having
lady.
plenty of leg room.
Yes, the dismembered lady comes with the suitcase.
Actually, honest, when you buy a new suitcase, if there's not a dismembered lady in it, what are you even doing?
Where are you buying these?
I don't know how I got into a potential child abduction and just like dismembered women in our holiday.
ADD?
Oh yeah. Also, it's this show. I know for a fact there's at least 2 cannibal songs in this playlist.
There is. I made the playlist, I know.
I know, you told me about the playlist. It's a long-standing tradition that the Thanksgiving playlist has at least one cannibalistic song.
It's because I think it's funny. And
Because-
what's more Thanksgiving than cannibalism?
I mean, it is a holiday where you're kind of quote-unquote celebrating the European genocide of an entire native people, so
Yeah.
yeah, sounds about right.
Hooray! It's not good. It's terrible.
Honest about what the holiday is about. And just think of it as a time to connect with friends and family and loved ones
Except
over
don't.
a shared meal.
Except don't, because COVID is
Except
happening.
Not this year.
Not this year. Do not connect. There will be
No.
there will be no
Virtually.
connecting. There will be no connecting. There will be no large group of people around the table.
Hey, look at it this year. This year, don't have to worry, like, listen to an off-color joke by your homophobic uncle or.
Oh yeah. Well, I gave up that. That stuff millennia ago. I actually stopped celebrating Thanksgiving with family ages ago because it had gotten so horrible that I just went, why am I putting myself through this? Like,
Well, not Friendsgiving. Well, and,
yes. Now I have Friendsgiving.
Hughes is still family.
Yeah, no, I still have you guys. Usually you two come over, and that is good. That is the perfect amount of socialization and friend having, and we have a lovely time. We drink too much and we eat too much and we watch stupid television or play video games and in the decade that we've been doing it, no one has ever gotten into a fight.
No fist fights.
No one has ever called each
no
other horrible.
Weird homophobic remarks from the
no horrible
old aunts in
names.
the corner.
Yeah, no horrible names, no uncomfortable silences, no. It's been lovely. Good. I would much prefer that.
And we're not doing it this year, and it blows, and I'm sure like everyone who's listening to this now has already gone through that with their family and friends, that they couldn't be with the people they would like to be with, but they stayed safe.
Yes.
Because I know our listeners are not idiots.
Yeah. And we're very proud of you, and we appreciate it, and we want you to continue to exist in the world. Because we love you. It's
been a tough year. We know it's been tough, and we're proud of you for doing the right thing.
Yes, and we will all get through this.
That's right. As long as we all stay safe and sane and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? This is a good time to bring up.
What?
We're gonna do a New Year's Eve thing.
We are. We are gonna do a virtual clockwork ball thing. I don't know. I jokingly called it interdimensional clockwork, and I just decided that was enough thought process that I had. That was all.
I like it. I think that sounds very Doctor Who.
Yeah, so we're gonna do it on Twitch. You can follow us on our individual Twitch channels, or you can actually go to the Agony Aunt Studios Twitch channel, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to pipe both of our Twitter feeds there, so it'll be one after the other, and it'll be cool. We'll play music for a few hours. Yeah, so if you go to twitch.tv/Agony Aunt Studios, that should be where you can get both of us at the same time. We will, I'm also trying to coordinate with a couple other DJ friends who may be doing parties also on there, and so I will post links to their parties so that we can have party hopping. And, and maybe we can have a bring in the new year in a nice, weird, virtual way.
Hey, if you've ever wanted to attend a Clockwork Ball, but you couldn't because you're not in North Carolina, you're not in the state,
Yeah.
you're not in the county, you're not in the country, this is your opportunity to kind of, sort of attend.
Yeah, and it's, it's not the same, but we usually chat around in there's a little chat room off to the side, and we talk and make jokes about the songs and various other things, and so yeah, so it should be fun. I schedule these things and then I go, why did I do this? I'd rather lay around and play video games. And then I start DJing and then I remember that, oh yeah, I actually really like this and this is fun.
Yeah, we're both missing it a lot, and
Yeah.
we're both bummed that this year isn't happening, but obviously there's no safe way that can happen.
No. We usually have a couple hundred people at the Clockwork Ball, and that would be really bad and completely irresponsible.
It would be a bad scene. And
Plus
the horror program is also not open because they are also not stupid.
Yeah. So this will be a way that we can all ring in the new year together safely, and hopefully next year we'll get to do the Clockwork Ball like normal.
And yeah, and like I said, for those of you who have always wanted to attend and never had an opportunity, well, here it is. Here's your opportunity. Get dressed up in your own house.
And dance
put
around.
On some disco lights and have a little dance party for yourself.
Yeah. And with that, I think we're gonna say goodbye.
Yeah. If you like this thing we do and you would like to help support it, go to agonyauntstudios.com. All of the links are there to our Patreon, our Coffee, our Instagrams, or whatever's. You can follow us both on our various social media sites. All the information is also on agonyauntstudios.com. And it's been a tough year.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a tough holiday.
Yeah.
So hang in there.
Yeah. Keep on keeping on. We appreciate that you're here.
We really do. And we want you to stay safe, and we want you to stay healthy. We want us to stay safe and healthy too. So stay strong. I know sometimes it feels like you're raging against an uncaring tide of idiots. Or at least that's how we feel.
Yeah.
But you're not alone, and you're doing the right thing when you're staying safe and you're staying healthy. So take that to your heart. I know this has been a tough year for all of us.
Yeah. And with that, this has been the Clockwork Cabaret. She is Lady Attercop.
And she is Emmett Davenport.
And it's not work we do.
It's love.
Are you a soul-searching poet of sombre disposition, looking for a location necessary to morbid reflection? Are you a stoic professor of criminology in need of a home ripe with a potential for intriguing calamity? We have the location for you. Skeletal tree on a mist-shrouded hill? We got it. Rickety shutters that clatter in a baleful wind? There they are. The hounds? You can't stop us from releasing them. From creaking floorboards to inaccessible attics, every property is guaranteed to amuse, inspire, and forebode. Sextants ain't sextants, mood-setting real estate. There's a fog on the moors, and it could be yours.